The warring Irigwe and Fulani in the Bassa local government area of Plateau State have signed a peace agreement with a promise to promote lasting peace. Governor Simon Lalong, who witnessed the signing of the expression of commitment to peace, expressed optimism of a lasting peace and an end to recurring violence in Bassa local government, where attacks have led to the loss of lives and destruction of properties, farmlands and livestock. Reports say that the document was signed by the chairman of Irigwe Fulani Peace Committee, Reverend John Power, the co-chairman, Alhaji Yao Idris, and the chairman of Bassa local government, Stephen Igmala at Jebu Bassa. Speaking at the event, the Director General of Plateau Peace Building Agency, Dr. Joseph Lengman, said the document was produced by a 16-man committee comprising the two ethnic groups. Joining us to discuss the recent crisis in Plateau communities, the Peace Pact, and the efforts at rebuilding is Joseph Lengman, Director General, Plateau State Peace Building Agency. Thanks so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you for having me.
Now, can you give us an idea of what the journey to get the warring Irigwe and Fulani communities to commit to this peace process was like?
Well, thank you so much. It's been a long journey, one that was actually at some point marred with a lot of setbacks. But we're so happy that at least we had the communities to be able to come together to sign that expression of commitment to peace document, which the governor, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Simon Bakola, long witnessed on the 13th of July 2022. It's a major milestone in the sense that this is one community that had suffered the brunt of ethno-religious crisis or intercommunal conflict that spanned nearly 2 decades, leading, of course, to the uprooting of a number of communities within the district, and also, the sacking of even, Fulani communities in that local government. Having gone through a lot as a people in those communities and having lost their livelihood and have been living, apart for almost 20 years, the signing of that agreement is significant in the sense that we have something that we're able to walk around with to consolidate or to further deepen the peace in Plateau State. The signing of that document in itself does not mean, and I think I need to, re-emphasize this, does not mean that the issues underlying the conflict have completely been resolved. But it is an expression of the commitment of the conflict parties whom have worked over, this period of time to agree that, yes, we have issues that have remained unresolved, but we are committed to a ceasefire that would enable us work in or around these issues. And that, of course, underscores the importance or the symbolic importance of that event of the 13th July 2022. This process was indeed facilitated by the government through the Plateau State Peace Building Agency and in conjunction with the Plateau State Inter-Religious Council. And of course, I would also be quick to mention that quite a number of efforts were also put together by non-state actors, including the GIZ under the Peace Corps project, Mercy Corps, and Search for Common Ground, and a number of other non-governmental, or rather international non-governmental organizations who have invested massively in the Fulani-Irigwe peace process over the years. So the signing of that agreement is a culmination of all that painstaking effort put together by this wide range of stakeholders. And we remain very optimistic that the conflict parties are committed and will be committed. We have also integrated into that agreement a kind of a safeguard that will ensure or prevent the possibility of violation and all that. So what is left now is for both those who signed that agreement and the government to work in hand in gloves to ensure that it is well implemented and that the issues of the conflict or that engendered the conflict in the first place are resolved. And that is why we are quite excited and very happy that we've come this far together with these conflict parties and hopefully it is implemented, and then it becomes a model for other communities across the state and perhaps across Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Lengman, what do you make of the statement by the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, which has warned the Plateau State government, Simon Lalong, not to sign a peace pact with terrorists attacking the states?
We are not aware of any warning by human rights group not to sign a peace pact. Again, like I've said earlier on, we do not conflate a peace accord and a document that speaks to the commitment of those whom have been having issues of conflict in their communities to pursue peace and work together through dialogue and other initiatives in order to resolve the growing insecurity in their community. And I think this is very important. It's not about the government signing a peace pact. No, it's not even about the peace building agency. It is about those ordinary communities trying to put what happened behind, trying to put what happened in the past behind them in order to reconcile a future. And I think this underscores the importance of what happened.
Mr. Lengman, the reason why I asked this question, to interject, the reason why I asked this question is that the Human Rights Writers Association are claiming that some of these Fulanis actually, I'm quoting them, are probably go under the guise of indigents and commit dastardly acts, and at the end of the day, still cause quite a lot of uproar in the States.
Yes, absolutely. For the reality is this. This document was signed by the stakeholders who are living in those communities. So the Plateau State Peace Building Agency and the government of Right Honorable Simon Lalong and also the Plateau Inter-Religious Council had to work closely with these people over the years. We are dealing with those we know. Those extraneous variables we do not know. It is very difficult to bring them on the table. But we are very confident, to say the least, that the fact that we're able to extract this commitment from those stakeholders in those communities means that we can equally put our heads together. When I say our heads together, I mean government and security agencies to deal indeed with those shadow actors who comes into those communities, and not only the Basa community, but other communities across the state, sometimes to wreak havoc and go away, leaving those communities in agony. And that's why we think it's a very important step ahead. The journey of 1,000 miles, like I've said, require that we take a step. And I'm very excited that we've taken the right step. What is left now is for us to be able to build on this modest achievement going forward.
Mr. Lengman, very well said. We know that in these conflicts, especially in Plateau states, it's been a lot of killings and reprisal killings. It's been a back and forth of a grudge match for years, which obviously builds some kind of sentiment in those who have lost their lives, lost their families, lost their property. These things are hard to forgive. They're hard to move forward from. But it seems like you all are taking the right steps in order to mitigate that situation and get everyone to start talking and move forward and forgive each other. And it brings to mind the situation in Rwanda. We know that they had their own major genocide issues, and now the country is seeming to rebuild itself, but it's under the strong leadership of their president, who has made it his mandate to make sure that forgiveness and these discussions are had. In this particular situation, without revealing too many details, is there a figurehead like the Rwandan president who will be the face and the touch point for this? And I'm asking that because within the community, they all know themselves, it's clear, but outside of the community, a lot of confusion happens, and it's easier if you have one focal person to explain or maybe guide the process along. That's my first question, whether or not there is a focal point for this? And secondly, is this a model that can be replicated in other communities across the country? Briefly, because we have a little time left.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about focal points, the first, of course, would be the governor. His kind disposition and indeed his policy thrust is one that speaks about, peace through forgiveness and reconciliation and also justice. I think that we have signed that agreement through the facilitation of the Peace Building Agency is a testament to his commitment and visionary leadership as far as issues of peace and security in Plateau State are concerned. Secondly, there are so many other focal points. Indeed, the traditional institution in Basa local government or in Miango local government. By the way, the committee that worked the details of this agreement were set up and inaugurated by the paramount ruler of the Irigwe chiefdom, Reverend Ronku Aka, retired. He set up these, and of course, he commands the respect and confidence of all, the two conflict parties, the Irigwe people, and also the Fulani. And of course, I would say that we have come to this point today also is a testament to his commitment, his respect, and visionary leadership in that respect. Also, the leadership of those communities, their tenacity and their commitment speaks volumes about their passion for peace. So they all represent what we call insider mediators, upon whom, of course, all the efforts that we put together revolves around or rather predicated upon their integrity, their honesty, and commitment to delivering on the promise of peace and security. But again, you mentioned something very important, the issue of peace through forgiveness and reconciliation is very, very difficult, looking at the knotty issues of conflict that we are facing in Plateau State. But again, yes, it is possible that we're able to achieve and drive home this agenda in a way that is acceptable to everyone. And what happened to us in Plateau State is indeed a testament to that fact. And whether this model can be replicated, of course, absolutely. Rwanda, like you have clearly alluded to, has become one of the most successful post-conflict peace building, reconstruction, and rehabilitation model around the world. For us on the Plateau, if you looked at our situation today, what it is totally different from what it was 10, 15 years ago. We have relative peace. There is a decline in the outbreak of high-intensity violence because of the model that we have together. The Plateau State Peace Building Agency, which works with a wide range of stakeholders to resolve all conflicts and to promote a secure and a stable society. But again, one of the most important things we preach in the course of our work is the need for us to forgive the past in order to reconcile the future. Issues of conflict that requires government intervention, we make a recommendation and present it to government, and I'm very confident because government has been exhibiting that kind of a commitment and political will, to addressing the issues that engender the conflict in the first place. So it has a lot of potential. I see a lot of potential, and I hope that by the successes that we are recording, it in itself become a model through which other subnational units or states might even want to replicate, because of the complex issues.
Mr. Joseph Lengman, Director General, Plateau State Peace Building Agency, thank you so much for joining us on News State.